territories and strengthening the grade 10 uptick. There are teething problems, yes, but we are on top of the game, and we are doing so. The same case also when you look at the new funding model, we are hearing people trying to make assertions about availability of funding, and clearly that is further than the truth. We've already been able to revise the fees, based on the MTI downwards, and many people are paying very affordable fees. We are also in the process of building a 178,000 student bed, capacity, so that we are able to deal with the issue of shortage of hostels. And we continue to increase funding to the Higher Education Loans Board to support students financially with scholarships and reforms designed to help the vulnerable students so that they are able to remain in university and technical, TVET schools. When it comes to universal healthcare, we've had people trying to attack the Edu-Afia, program and all of the issues that had been raised by the teacher unions. But the government has sat down with them and is pleased to announce significant progress made in the health sector through bold reforms and decisive actions. In just 3 years, the government has expanded health insurance coverage from fewer than 8 million Kenyans to nearly 30.8 million. Under the Social Health Authority, approximately 65% of our population currently have been registered, and so therefore they stand to access essential health services, a substantial improvement from 16% coverage under the defunct National Hospital Insurance Fund. It's doing better. We have been able to disburse over 280 billion shillings so far, and that is really commendable. And we must tell the government story, because if we don't tell the government story, fellow members of for the state, somebody else is going to tell, there will be this misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. And that is why this office exists, so that we can come and speak, and you ask questions, and we're able to respond, and so that you're able to know what is happening. And so therefore, we have really improved from 16% coverage under NHIF to 65%. You can see that's a very huge increase of 49%, and that is extremely, admirable. Nothing like that has happened before. So the government remains committed to ensuring that every Kenyan benefits from quality and affordable health care. Further, the government is committed to transforming Kenya's education sector to meet the needs of today's economy and society, making sure every child and young person has a chance to succeed. The Social Health Authority, in partnership with the Ministry of Health and teachers' unions, have reached a significant agreement to improve medical coverage for nearly 350,000 public school teachers. This agreement eliminates core payments by removing system configurations that cause out-of-pocket expenses, ensuring that all contracted health facilities no longer charge teachers at the point of service. The agreement also expands healthcare benefits by providing access to specialized treatment abroad through selected hospitals in Turkey, India, and Saudi Arabia. Locally, this is very important. New services such as in vitro fertilization, IVF, have been added to better support teachers' health needs. And this is very critical, especially because of issues of people who may be facing challenges of infertility and getting children. Basically, let's put it across that way, getting children. So IVF now then becomes part of what can be paid for, because it's been extremely important, costing even up to 2 million shillings, depending on consultations. But now people are able to get that because there's a facility. There's a bill, of course, in the Senate, assisted reproduction, that is still being conversed about. And that's a very, groundbreaking, progress. A bill that was introduced initially by Millie Odhiambo and then Judy Sijeni, the former senator also, but now it's still going on so that we can resolve that matter once and for all. So this is very, very good news for those who are suffering in that category, because it has been something that has not been addressed before. In demonstrating ongoing commitment, SHA has cleared a backlog of 160 last expense claims, each valued at Kenya shillings 300,000, with payments set for disbursement promptly. To guarantee smooth implementation and continuous oversight, county-level committees comprising of SHA, the Teacher Service Commission, TSC, and union representatives will meet regularly to monitor service delivery and address any issues. Additionally, SHA is finalizing tariff negotiations with healthcare providers nationwide to standardize services and improve efficiency. This collaborative initiative highlights the government's dedication to supporting our educators by providing accessible, comprehensive, and quality healthcare. Let's now turn to the affordable housing program. I think you can see clearly, fellow Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, members of the fourth estate, Kenya is now a construction site. There is nowhere you will go you don't find affordable housing projects. Yesterday, there at Kangari Market, you can see a beautiful market complete there, and with a sign Mama Mboga, a clear indication of the fact that we are keeping our promises as government when we look at the 5 pillars of the better plan. Affordable housing actually has made Kenya to become a best practice worldwide. Because we are celebrated. How do we fund, affordable housing? Over 9,000 people have already received their houses. 640,000 Kenyans have been able to get jobs. 273,000 houses constructed at different points and counting. And even if you look at the economic survey, actually it clearly says in 2025, the greatest sector growth is actually, construction, primarily because of affordable housing. So we remain firmly on course to achieve our target of 1 million jobs under this transformative national initiative. In fact, it is the desire of the government, by the time we go to the next elections, we have at least 4 or 5 million jobs created under the various programs of the Better Plan. That is our vision, that is our commitment, because through this program, the government is not only building homes, but also reshaping urban development nationwide, making home ownership a reality for thousands of Kenyan people who would otherwise not have owned a decent home. And of course, we are doing away with the issue of slums. Currently, as I said earlier, 273,000 homes